it goes live in Melanated Witchcraft, is it gonna do it from Priestess Peach Blossom's account? Ooh, that's gonna be messy. So we're just waiting on people to come in for. Oh shit, I'm live from Priestess Peach Blossom's account. Oh my god, shit, fuck. Well, I'm live in the group from Priestess Peach Blossom's account. Shit, hell, her account is attached to my Black Spectrum Network account because we all share my StreamYard. I guess people are waiting on me from Facebook and from YouTube. It's whatever. This part is gonna be edited out in the clip. When there's gonna be clipped out in the edited version because this is gonna be a live class. But hello everybody. Hello. Good afternoon. Y'all got some Facebook hello Facebook people. Hello to all my YouTube fans, my Facebook people. If you are in the mentorship, can you tell them that I'm live and that they need to come out and make sure that they are representing Black Spectrum Network, the Ocean from K Magic Academy, the Drill Master, Master Sessions, and Peachland. You look different, looking great. Yeah. Oh, thank you very much. I got a couple more micro needling sessions to do. But yeah, I am live, everybody. I'm live. And for those of you all that are coming from my YouTube, y'all are probably like, where have I been? And I've been on Facebook a lot. And y'all are probably like, why the fuck has you been on Facebook? Those people don't know shit. And I know. I'll come back over to YouTube soon. But for those of y'all that are on my YouTube, I guess that those of y'all that are from Facebook, y'all know why I'm here and what I'm here to address. Give me a moment just to make sure that I'm, give me a moment to get the link. I did not know I was going to be going live from Priestess Peach Blossom's account. I hope she ain't mad at me. But yeah, it would be great if y'all could go and tell those people I'm live. Give me one moment. So go in there and tell them motherfuckers get off food stamps and get on Facebook Live. If they got anything to say to me, I'm live and I'm ready. Anything that y'all gotta say. Okay, let me post a couple more. You should come out with a book of spells. I am next year. Next year in 2022, I'm coming out with a book on divination. I'm coming out with a book of spells. I'm also coming out with like low content books as well. You know those low content books that have like the, that you can find in Ross. They're just journals that have like the really pretty writing on them. They have really nice affirmations, or they may say something that's more edgy. I'm going to be releasing those. I've already figured out how to do low content publishing. I recently watched a YouTube video you did of a reading on Aaliyah a while back, and a lot of the stuff you said about her and Robert Kelly are coming to light. You're so gifted. Thank you. Let these Facebook people tell it. I ain't did shit in the past 5 years, but they don't know me, but you all know me on YouTube. So I don't want to waste too much time. I don't want to waste too much of anybody's time, really. So we're gonna go ahead and go into that Facebook group and tell them I'm live. Go make a new post and say, "Who Guns Always Live? Come talk your shit." Let's see what these people gotta say. Come, just go in there and say, "Who Guns Always Live? Come talk your shit." I hope that people like this. All right. Are you going to do a reading, an updated reading on R. Kelly? I don't know. I want to book a divination. You definitely should. This is what I'm talking about. I don't get that fucking Facebook group. I get my ass up on here and I see all these goddamn comments and shit. I'm like, who the fuck? Hey Wayne, how you doing? I'm like, who the fuck is really finna roast me? Who really finna try me? Like seriously? Like, okay. But anyway, so I'm not even really going to introduce myself because this is not going to be a part of the class. I'm just doing this for the Facebook people, just as one time, I guess. If you want to go live, if you want to beef with me, if you got something to say to me, you got questions to ask me about my behavior in the Melanated Witchcraft Hoodoo for Black Women group, come on. I'm posting the link in the chat. I'm saying it here. Go live with me. For those of y'all that can see it, whatever, let me try to post it in the let me try to post it up. Come live with me. Feel free to come live with me. Let me try to post it in the let me try to post it up. Come live. Okay, what's my YouTube? My YouTube is Black Spectrum Network. It's right here, shit, right here, Black Spectrum Network. Let me get that banner. Where them banners at? So I can. Where's my little banner? There we go. If you want Dr. Shakir to talk to your dead relatives, go to www.blackspectrumnetwork.com. Okay. All right. So this portion is not a class. It's just an opportunity for people to address me. Click the link if you got questions for me. Make sure that you're on video so I can see your face. If I'm showing mine, you got to show yours because, bitch, you know when you come to my free class, you got to show your face on camera anyway. But anyway, I have someone I don't know on here, but she's going to interview me. I wish I could give her a proper introduction, but I'm going to allow her to introduce herself. And she has some questions that she wants to ask me about my melanated witch, about Priestess Peach Blossom's Melanated Witchcraft group. I say mine because we say our business, our at Black Spectrum Network, we be sharing everything. We got each other's accounts and passwords and stuff. The only thing we don't share is each other's husbands. But other than that, like, her name is Janae. She's going to be asking me questions about my presence in the group, probably other controversial questions, or I don't fucking know. But either way, I'm prepared to answer and ready to answer honestly and authentically and without being condescending. So everybody, please hit the lipstick emoji for Janae. Hello, everybody. Welcome, Janae.
Hello, everybody.
Hit the lipstick emoji, guys. Hit the lipstick emoji to support Janae. Let's see that lipstick. Lipstick emojis all through flowing for Janae. Yes, I'll allow you to lead.
Okay. All right. So the first thing that I do want to say before we get started here, I was introduced to you from the Facebook group. Mm-hmm. And my initial experience with you was not that bright, and I had to sit on it for a minute and ask myself, why am I not receiving what he's giving in a positive manner? Mm-hmm. And I think it's because when you post in the group, and this is one of my questions that I have for you, when you post certain posts in the group, you say what you say, but you give no context. And the question that I have is, you as a teacher, do you only give that context that we need in the African Magic school? Or why is it that when you say things like, your ancestors don't want you wearing a bonnet, your ancestors weak, you don't give us context behind those messages? So some people just feel like, okay, he's attacking me. And a lot of people say, oh, well, if it's not for you, then it's just not for you. Keep scrolling. But you're talking to a group of Black women who are, some of us are beginners that don't know shit. So I just kind of want to know the context. Why don't you add that context in when you make those posts? Or is it just for shits and giggles? Because what I'm starting to learn is that you're a funny man, but I just don't know.
Right. So to answer that question, I have put things into context. Mm-hmm. If people check in the announcement section of the group, I have put it in the context for many, many times. I don't know how many times people, I don't know if you've seen this, but I don't know how many times people have shared the 20 myths of hoodoo, for example, that I put those things in. I have a lot of long ass posts
Okay.
I have a myriad of content. So I released the post, and here's the other thing. I don't want to say that you're not telling the truth. I would just say that it's the truth in some instances. Sometimes I don't go in the comments and defend what I said because I'm working. The other times I go in the comments and defend what I say, people argue against me. Okay. So I do it. I just don't do it all the time because I don't argue with everybody all the time. You know, like I said, I'm not in the group to really argue. Like half the time I'm like, why am I arguing with you if I know more than you?
Okay.
I do expect people to go to African Magic School and to watch my videos. I also expect people to go and look at my other posts in the group. I also expect them to check the announcement section of the group.
Okay.
So I understand that, and I accept responsibility for it, which is why I always say, like, if you got a problem with me, that's totally fine. That's totally cool, but don't lie on me. Okay. Like, you know what I mean? It's like there's like people insult me about shit I don't care about. That's cool, whatever, but don't lie on me. Like for example, somebody said that I pretend like I'm the only hoodoo practitioner in the group, but I got a staff of like 14, 15 women under me that I've been working to promote since I've been in the group. I promoted more of their shit than mine. So I don't think that I think that those posts that people see are in a vacuum. I'm willing to accept any of the criticisms. Like I'm not trying to say that that's not me. I said the shit. Mm-hmm. I also understand how those statements out of context can be triggering. I can also understand how when people look at some of the posts and they don't see me under there saying anything, they'll say like, where the fuck did he go? Or if they do see me under there and I'm defending the statement, they also see me doing whatever else. So it's like, I just got to accept the shit. I accept the suffering that comes with it. I accept people that are triggered by it. And I also accept when people go a little bit beyond it and they're like, you know what? Let me go and see what he's talking about. Let me watch the African Magic School or shit. Actually, let me check the announcement section of the group and see like, oh, that's what he meant by weak ancestors. Like, damn, my ancestors really are weak if I don't feed them. Like, shit, if we haven't been doing this for generations and I come from a Christian family, that's what the fuck he's talking about. Oh, yeah, shit. Damn.
Okay. And that's something that I didn't know. I've been in the group for a while. I know to check the files. I know about the school, but I haven't checked the announcements. I can say that. So when I see those posts, I'm like, what the fuck? What is he talking about?
You see, but you have an advantage by saying I've seen the school.
I have.
So you were sensitized to the posts.
Yes.
So that's what I'm saying. For people that haven't watched the school, that haven't gone through the files, that haven't even gone through the announcements, if all they see is that, I accept it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I accept it. That's just the logistics of the game. I can't go in and answer every fucking question. I can't go in and respond to everybody. But when I do respond, people can't say I don't come in and defend my posts. That's the thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can say that I go in and there are posts where I haven't defended myself, but there are times, more often than not, I'm more in conflict than I am silent in the group. So I'll say that. And usually when I'm in conflict is one of two things. I'm either insulting you or I'm educating you and insulting you.
Yes. Yes. Do you feel like, okay, because you will come in the group and I'll read certain things, but you can be very insulting. And sometimes you are the first person to insult. Why is that?
Sometimes because I'm a shit starter.
Okay.
I mean, that's just it. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a shit starter.
Okay. I can take that. I'm being dead.
This is nothing new. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to. For people that are on Facebook that don't know me, it's whatever. People that went to high school, you know me. Mm-hmm. People that went to college with me, you know what's up. People break my professors, you been knew what's up. The people on YouTube, it's what's up. Yes, I am disrespectful. It is what it is. But I don't feel bad for saying that because I'm just like, I see other people. When I'm not saying anything in the group, there are people that start shit unprovoked with each other. So I'm just like, mm-hmm. I have no problem admitting that. Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
Okay. Now I got a question for you on top of that. Like, do you feel like that is just who you are? Or do you feel like you have work within yourself that needs to be done to assist with that?
No, I think I got work within myself that needs to be done to assist with that. I think that with the level that I'm on right now, there are going to be different marketing techniques that I use, they will advance themselves the more that I educate myself. But I'm also someone that I feel very empowered in what I do and what I say. Okay. I'm somebody that when people like the things you're accusing me of, I'm very conscious of what I'm doing when I'm doing it. I know why I'm doing it. I have no problem explaining why I did what I did. I have no problem accepting the consequences of what I did.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? The principle to really answer the question is, at the end of the day, I may insult you, but I'm still telling the truth. I'm doing both. It's probably the most mixed experience that somebody can have with me. I think it is very confusing for a lot of people. I also think it's addictive and really provocative at the same time. But I'm also saying this, there's no science to it. This is just me being myself. I'm not going to scapegoat and say like, shit, I ain't got more shadow work to do. I'm not trying to be so general that I'm like, oh yeah, everybody got work to do. So of course I got work.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, shit, before this Facebook group, people knew me on Facebook for being in them damn white people Facebook groups. Okay. Promoting Black Spectrum Network. I always started shit. I always said shit. I always came out and said, your magic week. And I said what I said. I would just start. I'm like, but for me, that's just me in general. If I say it, I think it. But I'm not a shit starter outside my industry. I'm a shit starter in the spiritual industry. I'm a shit starter among sociologists. But I'm not a shit starter outside my industry.
Okay. Well, I want to clear one thing up because you said your insults are the truth. You called me a hyena, and I'm not a hyena. So that wasn't the truth. You was just talking shit. You was just talking shit. That's it. Like, because I'm not a hyena. So, and I know that for myself. So some of your insults don't be the truth. You just be talking shit.
Yeah, of course. I mean, duh. I mean, it's not.
But I'm piggybacking off of what you said. I mean,
look. I'm not disagreeing with you. I said that. Okay. And if I could go back and edit what I said, I would definitely improve what I said. I can't go back and disagree that logically what you're saying is true. You are not a hyena. All of my insults are not true. I did say that my insults are true. I did say that. I'm not gonna like it's.
We don't have to go back and forth. I'm just saying just the acknowledgement for me because I'm listening. I'm taking. I know.
Yeah.
I'm taking in what you're saying. Now another thing is because a lot of times when you make these posts, you say like, your ancestors don't want this, or your ancestors. Do you feel like there's only, like, why do you feel like you know what our ancestors want for us? And that may be something for me to
the Ancestral life path reading because I've been doing this for 10 years because I use my intuition. Like dead ass, I know what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm not making
that's what I'm trying to understand.
That's what I'm not. This is my personality.
Right. Okay.
But like I don't know how else to answer that other than like, this is what I do. This is how I build my business. I've trained other people to read from people's ancestors. I've done so much spiritual work that I'm like, you know what? Your ancestors do not want you to be a single parent.
Okay.
They don't. Okay. That's just the fucking truth. Anybody that's done a divination, they know that. Your ancestors don't tell you to have an abortion. Your ancestors talk to you about the consequences of having that pregnancy, and then they tell you, here's a step after that. If it doesn't work out with the child's parent here, you still have other people. God has a contingency plan for you.
Okay. And
right?
Yes.
But here's the thing. I said what I said. I meant what I said. I'm aware that it's out of context. I'm aware that it's going to offend some people, but I'm also aware that there are some people that understand what I'm saying.
Okay. And you went so fast. You said, no, it's okay. Not the last part. It was the beginning part. You said that the reason why because again, I just started the school. So I haven't even attended a class yet, to just get a better understanding. You said that, what do you do in regards to ancestors for you to know what our ancestors want for us outside of you doing your spiritual work?
Oh yeah. It's called an ancestral life path reading.
Okay.
Trademarked it.
Okay. Got you. See, now I understand why because at first I'm like, why the hell is he on here telling me that my ancestors don't want me to wear a bonnet? You know?
The other thing I'll just say to you is, I mean, my name is HOUNGAN, so I can't get any more explicit than that either. I'm not trying to be a smart ass, but HOUNGAN is in my name too. No.
I've seen that. I've seen Hugan the god. I've seen it. But when people are first, especially in the group setting, I feel like it's different when they watch you on YouTube.
What does Hugan mean?
I don't know. But I just seen the
Male
god part.
It means male voodoo priest. That's Hugan. That's a title.
Okay. See, I'm learning something.
I know, but my thing is this. If when people ask me, Huganzo, who are you to tell me about my ancestors? I'm like, it's in my name. You see what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying, but some people, again, when you're in this group, some of us don't know not a damn thing. I don't know anything about.
But some of y'all don't know how to get our food stamps. Some of y'all don't even know how to feed y'all's kids properly. Y'all don't know a lot of things. Y'all are the product of what y'all left behind. But when you don't know what the Hugan title means, I don't feel bad about that. Some of y'all barely passed 8th grade math. I'm saying this as a professor. There's a lot that you all don't know.
Right.
But in that particular case of people not knowing my name, that is an American education deficit. That's not my issue to fix. That person needs to literally go and say, okay, for example, Iyanla Van Zant. People don't know that Iyanla is a title. I can't help that you don't know that. She can't help that you don't know that.
But that's for you as the professor, as the teacher, to educate. Yes.
That's like me telling you that, calling me Dr. Quintara Shakir. Doctor means I have a PhD. I'm not going to educate you about that. There's a certain baseline of American common sense that Americans have to rise to. That's
valid. That is
self-sufficiency and education that Americans have to participate in and of themselves. I will educate you about a subject, not about my title, not about my accomplishments.
Okay,
I will
that's
do
fine, but
educate you about what Hugan means. I have no problem explaining that to you in this interview setting. You get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying, but can I say one thing? Again, you have to understand that what is common sense to you is not common to everybody else, because everybody else don't have the capacity that some people have to understand and know certain things.
And there are educational institutions that remedy those problems, and those people need to be proactive and go and seek those out and get off of Facebook.
That is very, very valid. But there is, when you're jumping into the spiritual world, we got to talk about the spiritual world, because there's so many different aspects to it. There are some of us, there is though.
There's some aspects to the human world, one aspect to the spiritual realm.
Okay. What I'm saying here is that there are some people that is jumping into this world that have no idea, and they're coming to you. So if our first interaction with you is the Facebook group, in order for me to want to join your school, I have to know, okay, this person, I can trust in this person just a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I know that they're going to provide me the right information, and that's where I go back to the context, because in the African Magic School, the videos that I have watched, you get more context. But in the group, outside of the announcements, because we just talked about that. I didn't know about that.
I argue with people in. And the comments that I argue with people in.
Yeah, but the comments, I mean, yes, in certain posts, you do educate people in a certain type of way, in the same sense of insulting people. People are not going to handle that well from a professor. Then there are
instances why I don't insult them either.
Yes, that is very, very true.
All I'm saying is do it all. I'm fucking with you. I'm fucking with you. Keep going.
Do you feel like, are you open to compromise?
Absolutely not. No, okay. Because not for that. Because what I'm going to educate you about something.
Okay.
I get what you're saying, that a lot of people are naive, that this being their first introduction into African spirituality, they see an educated person that's powerful, whatever, cool, it can turn them off. But my behavior is definitely not the worst behavior that you can encounter in African spirituality. You all need to get the fuck off of social media. Because when you get off of social media and you go to Haiti, you go down to Oyo, Nigeria, it's much worse. This sugarcoating, getting your hand held through things, there is no institution that teaches Ifa other than the School of Orisha Studies and Black Spectrum Network. There's no institution in the U.S. that teaches Haitian voodoo in the way that I do, other than maybe Mambo Elizabeth Ruth and what I'm doing. Right. Outside of that, people have to learn orally. We're talking about you either laying on your back to get the information or getting insulted to get the information.
Mm-hmm.
We're also talking about you getting scammed out of getting the information.
Right.
I'm not saying that I'm creating a better learning environment, nor am I creating the perfect learning environment. What I am saying is that I'm a hell of a lot better than what you could truly encounter if you get the fuck off of social media.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm trying to say to you all is I understand that many of you all are undereducated due to what you didn't receive. I'm not talking about you, Janae, but what you all didn't receive outside of social media. And you all expect to come to Melanated Witchcraft to do shadow work, to re-educate yourselves on spirituality, and also on some other areas of life too that we know that you all don't really have a grasp on. That Facebook group can't serve those purposes. Your teacher, your Bible, your HOUNGAN cannot serve those purposes in all of those ways. What this means is that for those of you all who are new, who are coming into this and you're turned off by your spiritual teacher, you're allowing whatever push, for some of you all that are coming from Christianity, you're allowing those same social forces that push you out of Christianity to push you out of African spirituality, where you're allowing the person and not your relationship with spirit to be what determines whether you stay or whether you go. I'm saying this to you all from a place of the compassion that I have for you all, that I understand what it's like to be belittled, to feel like you're behind, to not feel like you are getting what you need. I understand when you all feel like you're paying for information that you all could have found in a book. I try my best to create an institution that does otherwise. I can't say that. I also have to own the fact that I'm a product of my own pledging. I'm a product of my own training. I was trained by Apollo priestess for about 4 years. I was trained by HOUNGAN for another 4 years, and I'm being trained by a different HOUNGAN. I couldn't come to any of those people with any of this talking about what is a yay. I would get cussed out. And if you are turned off by me, what the fuck are you going to do when there's a demon that's attacking you? What are you going to do then? What are you going to do when you have to heal real generational curses? What are y'all going to do then? What are you all going to do when you really have to step into this territory, really have to step into this industry? You all get support in y'all's messages saying, oh my God, I can't believe that happened to you. I get messages saying, hey, can you really fix this problem in my life? Mm-hmm. What are you going to do when you divine and you see shit that you don't want to see? What are you going to do when the spirits tell you, hey, this person that's dead ass in the wrong in this criminal matter, you still have to work with them and support them? What are you going to say then? Are you going to argue with spirit? I think that I'm not telling anybody to be obedient to me. Half the time I'm telling people to block me. I'm telling them unfollow me, stay in the group, go to the African School of Magic, go book a reading with this person. If I don't resonate with you, here's another woman that will. There's always some redirection in my entire mission because I may not work for everybody. No, I'm not willing to compromise to tell anybody. If I feel like it's common sense and I tell you to Google it, go Google it. That's it. Because at the end of the day, I got the African Magic School. And I have what you want. I have the best version of yourself in my head. And you don't have to go through me to get it. You don't have to interact with me to get it. And I challenge everybody to learn how to be coachable, because what's going to improve you all's experience of African spirituality, because things are not better. Outside of Black Spectrum Network, and we have to tell our students this all the time, outside the Black Spectrum Network, you got it good. You don't have to worry about me trying to scam you, trying to touch you, trying to block you from learning stuff, trying to discriminate against you. All you got to do is worry about me insulting you because I feel like you insulted me. Sometimes the shit is unprovoked in that Facebook group, but outside that Facebook group, I don't act that way. That Facebook group, it's all a fucking marketing tool at the end of the goddamn day. Half the people follow for it, other people don't. I don't give a shit, but I do. I'm helping the people to the best of my ability in the way that I know how. But no, I'm not really willing to compromise in that particular area. I am willing to compromise in all the other areas that you told me about, the much bigger problems.
Okay.
I'm dead ass with that. I put me on the cross, crucify me. But if you telling me as a whole ass professor, as a nigga that earned his PhD when he was 28, to go and tell somebody like, hey, this is what a HOUNGAN is, hell the fuck no. You better Google that shit. No. You better use your you better get on fucking, you better use your thumbs and Google what HOUNGAN means.
Right.
And don't get mad at me when I say to you, it's in my title. That's why I'm qualified to do it. Because at the end of the day, you get mad at me. Imagine going down to Haiti when there are 50 people in ceremony and somebody says, I'm a Songway priest, respect me. And you say, what's that? And they pop you up the back of your head. What you gonna do then? I bet you ain't gonna fight, because if you do fight, you got 35 people jumping your ass. And that's on baby on baby.
No, I feel you. I'm hearing you.
I'm not trying to be defensive to your question, because I think it's a very, very good question. And I wish that I were, and this is my intern. I wish I was spineless enough to answer everybody's questions, but I'm not. I do expect you to be proactive. I do expect you to be self-sufficient. I do expect you to have your own personal initiative. I do expect you to I do expect you to do research. And when I say do research, it simply means you can take your ass to University of North Carolina and learn what reputable sources are. They'll explain it to you in 2 or 3 minutes how you can figure out what reputable sources are. Mm-hmm. I expect you to have that common sense knowledge, especially because how are we as a race of Black people going to be competitive? I understand we got to help each other. But for me, on my team, I need people that are self-sufficient, not codependent. Right. The people that I want to educate and that I want to work with, they have to make at least $60,000, $75,000 a year to comfortably pay for anything that I'm fucking with. That's just business principles 101. Those people are typically not people that I have to tell to go and Google stuff. When I meet somebody that doesn't fit into that social status or outside the income bracket, I'm literally trying to put them in a position to where they can learn it for themselves, because self-sufficiency is a skill. Mm-hmm. Codependency is a trait. I'm trying to give these people skills. Half the time I do have to say jackass shit to turn them off, to turn them away from me, to make them hungry for it. Because at the end of the day, if you want to find the truth, you need to be hungry for this shit. You got to search for it as though it's a buried treasure. You can't allow me or anything that I say to get you away from the truth. And I'm saying this is somebody whose godfather was a rapist. I don't allow things like that to stop me from doing my work. I've seen things much darker than anything that y'all have seen. And well, in this particular industry of spirituality is what I mean. I'm sure you all have, definitely accomplished more than me. But that's all to say. I know it's very long, but I want to like inoculate my audience right now, and I want to set you all's expectations up the right way, that unless you're paying for it or fucking for it, you're not going to get that information. Mm-hmm. And I know that many of you all as African Americans think that because you were disconnected from your heritage, that you are entitled to that information, but you're fucking not. You're not. I don't know where you got that shit from, but you need to delete that shit out of your mind. Just because you descend from it doesn't mean that you're entitled to it. It's not yours. You have to work for it. And if you don't like it, don't get mad at me. Take your ass to an indigenous land and then argue with them. I'm just the shadows. What I do is just the shadows of what you're really going to experience outside of me.
Right. That was a lot to process, but I understand very clearly of what you're saying.
Take it to task.
Huh?
No, I'm saying take me to task. Keep going.
Okay.
No, you're not offending me. Push me. Ask me. You seem to be someone that like you always have. It seems like you are very empathetic, but there's an interviewer in you that has a contrarian idea that you want to push and push it. Push yourself.
Okay.
Do it.
So one of my biggest questions, because my spiritual mother, she is actually a voodoo priest, but for me, I don't know much about it. You know what I'm saying? When we talk, when I go to her, we talk about the work that I need to do with inside of myself. I do a lot of hoodoo practice. Do you feel like when you say do your research and learn things for yourself, do you feel like us as people coming in learning certain shit, we need to be looking at hoodoo, Ifa, voodoo as well, like all three aspects?
Absolutely.
Well, and I know there's more than just those three.
Yeah, but you mean like the three, like how we got the three major? Yeah, I know what you're saying. No, you're onto something. But the thing is, Janae, what sets you apart than other people, you're not a lone witch. And I'm saying, I'm trying to educate you so that you don't have compassion for cannibals.
Okay.
What I mean by that is that a lot of people in that melanated witchcraft group are making very, very valid points for their own personal experience. But if you had to, what you'll find is that as you advance and grow yourself and you go through these trials, there's only but so much that you can change, like for other people. Like I wish that I could change the structure. I just can't. You're not a lone witch. You preface by saying, I have a godmother. Those people are learning independently. In graduate school, you learn independently under the supervision of an expert. Okay. That's the difference between you and them. Therefore, you're already going to be more sensitized to me than them because you engage piety. You understand obedience. Yeah. So you can understand, you're a hybrid. You're able to move back and forth between both communities. The lone witch community, because you're still discovering things, but you also have a godmother that you trust. So you know that most of the shit that I'm telling you, I ain't lying.
I do know that. And I know that it's like, I realized, again, when I started to watch your video, it's different to just read a post from you than to actually hear you talking, because it reminds me a lot of her. It's a lot of the shit. She's so sweet, but a lot of the shit that I don't want to hear, she gonna say it, and she don't give a damn how you feel about it. And I had to really sit on that. When I started off my journey, I did have to sit in that, because I'm like, when I start telling her my problems, my family the problem, these people the problem, she said, no, you the problem. You the problem. Let's sit with it for a second. And I didn't like that, but it was the truth, and I had to take that shit on the chin. So what you do speak is the truth a lot. I think the whole thing that I was missing myself, I can't speak for everybody else, but was the context, because I'm a context person. Well, why is he saying this? What does this mean? Who told him this? I'm one of those type of people.
We should be. I don't have a problem talking to you. The hyena comment, girl, I've said all types of shit about people. You don't look like I did not mean to throw it up, but you don't look like no damn hyena. I'd just be throwing out fucking insults, and I'd be trying to get around that damn Facebook algorithm. I'm from Memphis, and I can throw shade like a motherfucker.
I see.
But you look, K. Michelle from Memphis. But the point is that, like, I wish that I could get everybody to understand where your godmother's coming from, where my godfather's coming from, where Fayende's coming from, where half of Black Spectrum Network is coming from, where most initiated people be coming from. I wish I could. But everybody's not meant to come. That's just it. It is what everybody's not meant to come. And the sooner that you can accept that, the sooner you'll stop having compassion for cannibals. I'm not telling you not to defend those people. You should. You're a Black woman. You definitely should. That's about solidarity and sisterhood. So I ain't got no issue with that. But I do want to tell you, like, as somebody that cares a lot about marginalized people and that has a business around healing them, just be mindful that, like, you can have compassion towards cannibals, and that simply means that those people, when you make it to the other side, when you start teaching classes, be prepared for some of them people to turn on you. They ain't gonna be ready to pay you for your shit. They ain't gonna be ready to pay you for your information. They be like, girl, how you get that? Where you get that from? How you start doing this? And you can be like, I can teach it to you for this price. And they're like, girl, it's gonna be the same shit. So that being said, I just want to take this opportunity to play victim, because I've done a lot of ownership of things. When it comes to them posts, like, I mean, I say what the fuck I say, and I meant what I said, and I don't care, and I'm getting the fuck up off of there. Like, I don't care how you feel. Earlier in the broadcast, I did own everything, and I'm on it because I have to be mature. But if I also have to, like, if I'm honoring my complexity as a human being, there's a part of me that's also like, yeah, shit, like, I said what I said. My experience is not any different than any of my other colleagues. Like, it's just I post more frequently than they do. I don't think any of my colleagues, as experienced and as respected as they are, don't have any naysayers or people that don't say the same stuff about them that they say about me. I just think that what happens with me just comes with the territory, so I don't take it personally. which is why I said what I said. I'm just keep it moving. So it can be very flippant. So it's a victimized part of me that's like, I'm trying to be flippant because if I talk to somebody else on the phone, like, hey, what do you think about this? They're like, shit, I mean, I posted something else today and somebody tried to argue me about a fucking sugar jar. Fuck them bitches. So it's like, again, I accept responsibility for what I did, but I also want to say in the defense of other priests, in the defense of your godparent, we can be really nice people.
Mm-hmm.
We're usually truncating these very powerful ideas. And what it does is it draws the right person in. And it pushes everybody else out that's not meant to be around us. Your godmother's not trying to have 1,000 godchildren. She probably just wants you. Is that wrong? Is that wrong? Because everybody's not supposed to go.
Yeah, it's not wrong.
So I get what you're saying when you're like, how can I improve myself so that I can reach more people? I don't want them. I don't want nobody that thinks it's okay to live on fucking food. That's going to be a fucking headache. You cannot fucking afford me. You can't afford the readings. You can't afford the services. I didn't pray to God and say, you know what, God, please let me be somebody that's able to serve this income bracket of people. I said, no, God, there are very few Black spiritualists, very few top dollar Black spiritualists out there. God, let me be one of them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I'm sure your godmother said, let me get somebody that's compassionate, that's serious and coachable. She don't want them fuckers on Facebook. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, she don't even got a Facebook.
Because she don't want them.
Yes, she don't got
She don't have a Facebook. That's my point. She doesn't have
Yeah.
Facebook. Most of us don't use Facebook. I just get on. That's why I just use Facebook for business. That's it. You see what I'm saying? I would not have a Facebook either.
Yeah.
People on my YouTube, where did you go? I ain't been here in a year and a half. I've been working. Fuck, I don't.
That makes sense. Everything that it came to light for me. I'm good. I think when I look at all of my questions go back to context. But I also had a question about tact. But you said this is who you are, and I'm able to accept that.
I want you to ask a question anyway.
Oh, I said what did I ask about tact? Okay, yeah, I literally said, do you as a doctor / professor care about tact?
Oh shit. Damn.
So
okay, I want you to come at me. Like I want you to give me a contrarian. Like if you whatever comes off the top of your head, I'm gonna try to add something new to what I'm saying that's also authentic.
Okay.
Okay. No, I don't care about tact, but I do. I do because I'm a wordsmith and I'm a samurai with my words. It's an art form in the way that I'm able to string my ideas and sentences together. So obviously I do. The times that I don't care about tech, I'm literally trying to send such a blunt and overpowering tone or energy to somebody that I don't care, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's all to say that the mature side of me does. When I'm petty, I'm still sophisticated, less mature. The sophistication in me wants to add more style and flair to what I'm saying and doesn't really care about the tech. I know that it's going to invite more insults and more activity onto the post. I know that I get to post my link more often. I know it's going to increase the frequency of the traffic just because people are looking at it. So sometimes I'm not thinking, I'm like, fuck your opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Get to this money. Like, what's that bag gonna look like at the end of the day? What's other people's bag gonna look like at the end of the day? How many people you finna get enrolled in mentorship? How many people finna ignore this bullshit that's really on the path and finna come up in here?
Yeah.
So sometimes I'm saying this to you all, and I'm saying this to inoculate my audience. As a child of Baron Samedi, you got to look at Francois Duvalier. You have to look at other Haitian presidents that know how to alchemize negative energy. You have to, sometimes I'm leaning into people's negative perceptions of me and acting out the stereotypes that they think of me. I'm using my double consciousness to do it. But in me being so conscious of what I'm doing, I'm actually drawing in more people to me that are like, he's provocative. He has a different way of saying things. I like him because he's blunt.
Mm-hmm.
I'm then building my tribe. I'm trying to teach you all magic I'm trying to show you all how to be very focused on your intentions. Because if I was focused on attracting everybody, I'd attract nobody. I do care about tact.
Okay.
I don't care about tact, which shows in my actions.
Okay.
I should care about tact. I want you to make me to care about it.
You want me to make you care about tact?
Yeah, because you got good questions. Why wouldn't you?
Okay. Well, I think that's where I go back to the compromise, because you said you're not willing to compromise in certain aspects. But what I meant by that is, I feel like the way that you present yourself, you don't care about really what nobody got to say about you. So if in that moment you don't want to be tactful, you're not going to be tactful. But if really what you just said answer my question. You're not trying to draw everybody in. Everybody in that Facebook group, you're not trying to draw them all in. So you don't need to be tactful to everybody in that Facebook group, because that's not your goal. That's not your end all goal.
As a healer. As a healer. I'm going to repeat something to you a statement to you that you said, and I want you to expound on it. I want you to from it. You said, when you're put in a predicament where you have to be tactful and you don't care about being tactful, you won't be. Yeah. So I want you to finish it up. Tell me, how can I make myself care? Why should I care? What do help me to develop more compassion or more empathy? Speak to me from the soul. Tell me what it is that you want from me. What would you like to experience? Your gift of persuasion.
So what I would like to experience is who you are more in the group, because you show who you are more in your school. And I understand that, but I feel like people come to the group to go to the school. And some people don't make it to the school because of the initial version of you that they see. Because my first thing that I said when I was looking at the comments, I said, he's a vampire. He gets a kick out of making other women feel low. And that's not it. But that was my first initial thought, because of how you were coming back first, the initial post, and then how you was clapping the fuck back. I said, he is getting a kick out of this shit. He likes it. And that was my first thought. But when I went to your school and I watched the tarot, the beginning of the tarot, and I watched you with everybody. I was sitting there while it was about an hour and a half long. I'm watching and I'm like, no, that's not, no. What I would want from you, it's just for you to show who you are a little bit more, because I don't feel like you do. I don't feel like you show I don't feel like nobody sees this part of you until they're in your school, they're on until you're in front of a camera and you're actually speaking. But behind that screen, and I get it that some things are tactics to bring people in or push them away if you don't need them, but to keep them there. You know what I'm saying? This is who he is. Because I was very confused about who you were. And just in this one setting here, I got a clear understanding. This man's not a vampire. He's not trying to suck me of all of my energy, even though I'm giving him my energy by arguing back with him.
Do not say that people gonna attack you for saying that.
Saying what?
That I'm not a vampire. That I'm not. Don't not say that. Do not say that.
But sitting here and having this conversation, I can say it.
Shit. But here's my thing. It starts shit though. It starts shit in the group. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's another thing that we need to talk about. I don't be starting shit in the group. Like, people have gotten started to arguing with me over my reputation. You know what I'm saying? They're like defending me more than I'm defending myself.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so it's like, I'm just teasing you. I believe it's true. I don't believe none of the things. I don't believe I'm a vampire. You know what I'm saying? Hell, I said I was a demon. I don't give a fuck. But no, just know that it's gonna. I wish that's what people are saying in the group. They're like, in this setting, he's not like, and people like, you're brainwashed, you're a concubine. I'm like,
But that's literally what it for me, and for everybody else it may be different. But what it took for me was to actually hear you, for me to actually listen into what you're saying, not what you're typing, not what the hell you're posting. That wasn't helping me. What helped me was to actually see you, to hear you, to go and join into the African Magic School and watch a video so that I could understand better. That's what helped me. And I don't know what course you're doing today. I need to check my mentorship, but I'd be happy to be in class. Now, just having this conversation, I feel a lot more comfortable because, like I said, the biggest thing was people were uncomfortable, and a lot of people are uncomfortable within themselves, but people need context.
Okay,
And
let me tell you, for y'all on YouTube that wonder what I said in the Facebook group, let me read to y'all what I said, and I have no problem defending it. You can't afford a passport, but you pay for Netflix and a monthly cell phone plan. Guess what? Your ancestors are disappointed. What did you do with all those stimulus checks? You definitely didn't get evicted. So, and you didn't. You didn't get evicted. They've been extending that motherfucking eviction for about a year and a half. Even if I permanently left this group, there would still be a drama. There would still be a theater program worth of drama in it. There will be no free books in the file section and no free classes. Just a bunch of arguing in the comments. Am I lying? I'm doing this. If you descend from royalty, why are you feeding your ancestors fruit cups and White Castle sliders? Your ancestors want you to wear a face mask and get the vaccine. Don't debate me if you spend more time doing research on your cell phone than you do in a research lab. Let me get one more. Do not listen to these single, broke, Minute Maid witches in this group. Do you want to be like them or like me? You want to be single or married? If you want to be like me, then put a root on your love interest. Bind them now. Do it, girl.
okay. I've seen all of those posts. I've seen them all. I just huh?
You don't want to let it.
It's rough. People can't. Though.
I didn't say shit about women. Can I say this? Can I say this for the record?
Yes.
I'm not a heteronormative person. I'm not a gender specific person, if that makes any sense. Like I'm not none of my posts are ever directed towards Black women. They're talking about Black people. I had to go in and edit one of my posts where I was like, and do-rags, because I was like, shit, I don't want y'all thinking just honest, you know what I'm saying? But, you know what I mean? It was like, I guess like throwing the do-rags too, it's like, don't wear that shit. But, I usually just try to keep stuff like, people, like I posted about single parents one time. People was like, he talking shit about single mothers, what about single fathers? I'm like, bitch, you ain't seen me go in on single fathers. Like, we got, nigga, you seen my Black Spectrum Network? Baby, okay. I got it now. Single fathers, I go in on their asses. But single mothers, I just like, girl, get you a partner. That's it. That's my opinion. The ancestors want you to have one too. But I do want to put it on for the record. I'm not a gender specific person. I don't operate in like a heteronormative context. I try to stay genderless with my my wording. I really do, like, even in the way I insult people, I try to be really creative. I think that when you associate any human being with an animal, it's just gonna have like a racial undertone to it, even if it was like white people, you know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't fucking matter. But other than that, like, I really do try to refrain from like, if I do insult people, I really try to like just make it like really intelligent. I don't try to root it in misogynoir. I don't want to be someone that reproduces power inequalities by bickering.
Okay.
I want to let you all know that I'm an equal opportunity roaster. I have affirmative action roasting. I often roast white people. I will say white people. I identify them as white people. And other than that, I'm usually talking about Americans, parents, and spiritual workers.
I seen that, and it's crazy. I wrote a question about that because you say that, but you understand why. I understand why they feel like, or we feel like, you're coming at us because you're in a group.
But when I go in the Hulu for Black Men group and I say the same shit, they be like, here a gay man trying to tell us how to treat our women, and I don't care. Okay. It's a black. I can post the same thing. I can post the same exact thing, and then they'll be like, them, bitches won't let me see my damn kids. No way. If I could choose otherwise, I wouldn't have a baby mama. Like, you can't choose your baby mama. They say shit like that.
Yes, you can choose your baby mama.
I'm not. So can I answer your question?
Yes,
I get it. Yes, I get it. I get it. Okay. I do. It's a Black person's issue. In a Black women's group, it's a Black woman's issue. Mm-hmm. The context because it is all-inclusive insults, people are going to personalize it to them, especially in a black woman's group. Yeah, that's the science of it. I'm not trying to belittle somebody for thinking that about me. I don't belittle people. Like, if you think I'm a misogynist, I don't. I tell people I'm not, but if that's something you think I am, I can understand why. You see what I'm saying? I'm like, well, yeah, I said that. But then when people get to know me, they're like, I definitely don't have those outward prejudices towards people. You know what I'm saying? But I'm totally 100% accepting of like that, you know, analysis of me. I can't, you know, I did it.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the women aren't wrong for saying that. You know what I'm saying? The most I'll say is I don't dislike black women. You know what I'm saying? The most I'll say is I don't talk badly about black women, but if they say that I am, I don't argue with them about it. I want to give them the room to like let that be valid for them.
Okay. All right. Well, that is all the questions I have. That's really everything. Like I said, I have an understanding. I'm clear now.
Oh, well, I mean, I feel like I made a friend.
Yeah, I'm gonna be in class. You're gonna see me in class. Like,
if you say, like, I mean, you can stay in this class right now because it's really. I'm about to do it right now. It's not gonna be too long, so it's probably been about like 20 minutes or whatever. I mean, you can stay on. If you got any questions for me, feel free to ask about what I'm talking about. Before we begin, if anybody else wants to come on live on this live with me, I'm gonna put the link here in the chat so that y'all can you know, come on and tell me how y'all feel about me. If you don't like me, come on. I really don't care. It's gonna bring me some good views and help expose people to me. And I got thick skin. I just want to see what people are saying. His eyes tell me his soul is genuine and he is really struggling with the perception that people in this group are getting of you guys. He's a nice person that's protecting him, but she don't play games either. I don't think he means us any harm. His delivery is just different. I'm not hurt. I am very genuine, but I'm not hurt. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a grown person, so it's like I can't be hurt that people perceive this of me when I did it. And then I'm smart enough to know the science behind how we got here. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like there's a shell though. That's what I'm seeing. I don't see hurtness. I see that, okay, this is me now, you know, but this is me up under that a little bit. Like, I feel like, and I feel like it's for a lot of people, but it's very clear with you that it's this and then it's off.
Oh yeah, I mean, but I'm not hurt. Like I'm a Scorpio. I'm a sensitive person. You know what I'm saying? I'm not hurt. I feel I'm not hurt. Like, my feelings aren't hurt by being misunderstood. I've been misunderstood. That's just the nature of a Scorpio. It's part of like the torture of our lives. But yeah, I do have to wear a mask. I'm a leader. You know. Yeah. I don't disagree with it. I don't. Like, I do have to. And or else I'd be looking like fucking Lizzo and crying about people bullying me and shit. Stop bullying Lizzo. I like her.
I like Lizzo. Yeah. I do.
Cool. Let me see. Now they're about to get on you for not knowing every little detail about his life. They better not talk about this girl.
I'm not worried. I am not worried. I don't know everything, no, but again, I know enough and I'm going to continue to learn. And if they mad, then be mad, but have a conversation with him so that you can have a better understanding, because the post is not going to. Huh?
I said to have a conversation with you too. I really wish, like I said, I do these, I be going live. I will say this, the reason I post my links and stuff is because I'm trying to, in the times that I've gone live multiple times in the group before, I've tried my best to put into context what I be saying. You know what I mean? But this is the first time. Like, I've gone live and challenged people in that group probably like 5 or 6 times to teach classes against me, to come on live and do this with me. You're the only person that's ever did.
Yeah, I was ready because I want to. The reason why I was ready for it, it wasn't to talk shit or to go back and forth with you. I was ready for it so that I knew, okay, this is where I needed to be. This is who I need to learn from. That's why I did it, because I started to feel that way. But then a part of me was just like, I don't know. So I'm like, well, let me make a post. Let me see if we can go live together. Let's see if we can chop it up a little bit, talk about it. Like, and we did it.
No, I'll let y'all know. I'm very flattered that you said that. Oh, and by the way, they weren't talking about you. They were talking about somebody else, saying like not knowing every detail of my life. They were talking about somebody else.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they ain't talking about you. But yeah, you got a really, really good response.
Good.
Y'all hit the lipstick emoji. Hit the lipstick emoji for Janae.
Yes, thank you.
Good job. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and teach this little itty bitty class, but I'll keep you on with me. Hello, everyone, and shit, I always fuck this up. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Target Practice. This is our magical workshop class. I'm going to be your professor for today, Dr. Quintara Shakir, otherwise known as HOUNGAN. I would like to introduce myself as a crisis manager and a professor. I help people to see their spiritual and intellectual blind spots. I also educate and train them to discover the truth about themselves and their destiny through private consultations, spiritual workshops, and brain training exercises. I am here today to educate you all about the 5 reasons that your ancestors are problematic. Now, those of you a lot of y'all like, what do you mean by problematic ancestors? So I'm gonna give y'all a couple of different scenarios, and it's just not hard and fast. So, mixed race Africans. I can't talk about other mixed race groups, but if you are a mixed race African, I'm talking to you. See, oftentimes people will ask me, I'm mixed, can I join this group? I'm mixed, can I learn this? And I'm like, do you have African ancestry? Do you identify as Black? I identify as mixed. Do you identify as Black? Because the way I was trained is that in mixed race studies, that mixed race people are hybrids, that they can, assume multiple, whatever identity that they choose because of their heritage. So I was trained, I don't select people's identities for them. But if you're a mixed race African, this message is for you, because oftentimes you all are trying to figure out how to negotiate between 2 different cultural groups that may be at war with each other due to religion or racial prejudice. There are some of you all that may, for example, someone said they're the product of rape. How do you reconcile that? How do you work with your ancestors? Especially if it was, obviously we know this to be true. 99% of rape happens by men. A man cannot rape a woman if he's scared because he cannot get an erection. Men do not get erections when they are fearful. But anyway, so that being said, let's say that you have a problematic bloodline. Let's say you have people that you do not know, people that have abused you, people whom you do not want to be related to, people whose identities or their child rearing practices may have affected the ways in which you identify, and it causes for you to feel like you're not as connected to your ancestors. Or you find that you are petitioning to your ancestors, you're trying to get things done, they're not working with you, you feel like you have a curse or a hex, you feel like that curse or hex is coming from you internally. I'm just naming off a bunch of different cases in which you may have problematic ancestors. All right, so the first reason that your ancestors may be weak, and you all know this, you may not need to write it down. You're not feeding them. Very obvious. Whenever you all hear me say you got weak ass ancestors, guess what? They are. If you know that your ancestors have been living a sedimentary lifestyle, you know they're weak. If you know that in terms of African ancestral veneration, that the people that come before you have not venerated a damn ancestor, they ain't left no tuna and peanut butter and crackers, you have weak ancestors. You're not feeding them. You want to feed your ancestors because they need stamina. They need spiritual stamina. They need ashe. When you leave those fruit and those foods at your altar, those fruit and those foods will petrify. They don't decay. Have you ever noticed that an apple that you leave on your kitchen counter will spoil and it'll produce like a liquid and shit? But if you put it on your ancestor altar, it literally looks like it's been burnt up, or the juice has been, it's petrified, because that's the ancestors using the ashe or the energy that's within the fruit. Have you noticed that? Yes or no? Hit the skull emoji if you knew that. Hit the clown emoji if you did not know that. So you need to feed your ancestors because they can assist you with what you petition for. There are many of you all that are doing magic unauthorized, and you call it hoodoo. You're not practicing hoodoo if you're not doing magic that is powered by your ancestors. Does that make sense to everybody? Y'all out here trying to bring in the Orisha, that's not hoodoo. It ain't. You can incorporate E5-based practices into it. You can bring in, if you know how to work with your Orisha, bring it into your hoodoo. But for those of you all that have no fucking initiation into E5 and you're bringing in an Orisha, you're not really bringing in an Orisha, you're not practicing hoodoo. For those of you all that are in that melanated witchcraft group calling yourselves witches, stop. Go to AfricanMagicSchool.com where we explain the history behind why you should call yourself a priest or a priestess. You want to make sure that your magic is powered through the energy that you give to your ancestors. You meditate with your ancestors, you pray with your ancestors, you feed them, you use them to power your work. You receive the blessings, you get more money, you spend more on them, you keep it going. Ancestor veneration is a cycle. It's not linear. You don't stop. It's a cycle. And if one part of that process is off, it will throw the entire thing off. Feed your ancestors. Not only do you feed your ancestors because you want to have them to assist you with what you petition for, you want to have them to assist you with what you don't petition for. Therefore, it is incredibly important for you to incorporate into your prayers a message that says or acknowledges that, you know, that they're going to bring you everything that you asked for and even the things that you did not think to ask for. Okay. You want to ask yourself, who are you feeding? For those of you all that are working, that are worried about problematic ancestors, who are you feeding? Label the food. If you can move a girl into your crib in 3 weeks and she already labeling food in your motherfucking refrigerator and your kids know not to eat it, what do you think your ancestors are gonna do? They know what's theirs and what's not. Sometimes you can't have greedy ancestors that think everything is theirs, but they know what's theirs and what's not. So be specific on who you're feeding. Feed the ones that have your highest interest in mind. What are you feeding them? Read Tapping the Power Within, because it will tell you different things that you can feed your ancestors to produce different results. When are you feeding them? Where does the food come from? Why are you feeding them? And how much are you feeding them? If you wouldn't eat it, why are you feeding it to your ancestors? If you know you'll eat motherfucking White Castle, why would you feed that to your ancestors? I don't give a fuck if they ate it. If you eat gourmet, introduce them to better. Introduce your ancestors to better. Elevate. That's how you elevate your ancestors. You don't elevate them by feeding them the same stuff they got over here. If it killed them on this side, it's gonna kill them on that side, and it's gonna kill your magic that you're powering it through. Your ancestors are weak because they're unfed, they're starving, and they are living off the hope and sustenance of God. Okay? Number 2. The other reason your ancestors may be problematic, or you may find that it's difficult for your ancestors to work with you, is because you're around the wrong people, you're in the wrong relationship, you're at the wrong job, and most importantly, you're dealing with the wrong family members. When you're on your path, when you're standing in your truth, people can interrogate you, they can ask you questions, and you explain who you are, and all it does is it reveals more truth when you stand in the truth, when you're on your path. No one can take away from you what you're meant to do. No one can cancel you in a cancel culture if you are the plug. Meaning that you are the outlet. You are your own electricity. Your ancestors want you on your path. And they will create friction between you and anyone or anything that gets in the way of what they want for you. And more often than not, it is a family member that is throwing you off your path. And even if it's a relationship, that relationship has such high levels of intimacy in it that that person spiritually qualifies as your husband, your wife, or your life partner. And that person is thus a family member. And those people have the most influence over your life to throw you off your path. I'm sorry. The next thing that I want to say is the ancestors are demanding and they are protective. They are demanding and they are protective. All they know is love, loyalty, wrath, and respect. Okay? Those are only 4 things that they know. Love, loyalty, wrath, and respect. And when you honor all 4 parts of those concepts that they want you to honor, you will then come to realize that part of loving yourself is creating boundaries between you and other people and respecting the boundaries that are between you and other people. You either create them or you respect them. When your ancestors are pushing you or pulling you away from the wrong people, the wrong family, or the wrong job, they're either trying to get you to fall into your destiny or they're trying to thrust you into your destiny. It's either one of the two. They want you to be able to spend intimate time with them and only them. And they want to bring you into a season where you can only be influenced by them. If you knew that, hit the skull. If you didn't, hit the clown. I wish Janae was still on here. Janae, if you can, get back on here. You know, it's totally fine because I think you might have other questions or whatever. Let's keep it going. All right. Number 3. These are not 5. Shit, it's actually only 4. The third. The ancestors are protecting you from information that will harm you, upset you, or disrupt you. So they're blocking you from an experience that is going to throw you off of your path. Okay? Your ancestors don't want you distracted. They want you to get stronger or smarter, either one of the two. So when you are working with your ancestors and you're finding something's not manifesting as quickly as you want it to, you're not getting the job interviews that you want after applying for 1,000 jobs. You're not finding the partner that you want after 1,000 dates. Your ancestors then want you to re-educate yourself. Or they want you to pray, meditate, develop a stronger relationship with them so that you can, again, spend more time with them and get what it is that you are looking for from them. Your ancestors will try to protect you from information that causes you to be less authentic. They will keep you away from Kevin Samuel's videos. They will keep you away from the Tariq Nasheed videos. I'm trying to think of some other problematic people, but I don't really know. Who else y'all compare me to? Whoever else y'all compare me to and y'all say I'm like them, Spirit will keep y'all away from them. You need to demand in instances where where there's information that you really want to have, or there's a person that you really want to be with, and it's against the wishes of your ancestors, then guess what? You can demand that they get into alignment with you. You demand that they get into alignment with you. You acknowledge that not all of your ancestors have your highest good in mind. You acknowledge that some ancestors will sabotage you. Okay? Some ancestors will sabotage you. Some ancestors do not fuck with you. Some ancestors are just totally problematic. But you don't have to work with them. But if those ancestors do cause disruption in your life or irritation in your life, tell them, petition to them, and let them know that you want them to get in alignment with you. Okay? Before we start on number 4, I want to tell you all to go to AfricanMagicSchool.com. Okay? AfricanMagicSchool.com. We have free courses at AfricanMagicSchool.com. Now I'm going to put the link to the free mentorship in here. All right. There you go. This is the free mentorship link. So for those of you all that are watching the video, that's how you get the free mentorship. And you can essentially, type in that link. It'll take you directly to our free mentorship program. You can get free mentorship. Okay. You can get it through me, Priestess Peach Blossom, Priestess Oshun K, Hunsi Say, the Bougie Priestess, the Garden Goddess, the Love Goddess, Priestess Ifemanja Sola, Hunsi Soleil, Priestess Mami Shana, Friday Day Sunjo. Ugh. Okay. So I probably missed some names. There's so many of us on Black Spectrum Network. Oh gosh. All right. I know y'all are probably wondering what number 4 is, but I want to take some questions before I get to number 4. What questions do y'all have for me? The free mentorship is dope. For real, for real. Good, good, good. Yeah, you all need to enroll in free mentorship. But yeah, I want you all to, what questions you all have for me before I get into number 4? AfricanMagicSchool.com for classes, guys. Okay, where should we start? With the Ancestor Veneration Crash courses and the White Candle Magic classes, the great place to start. I'm just coming in. Can you explain why Saturday is a cleaning day? You need to ask the person that told you that, because I've never taught that, and that's never been taught by anybody in my business. So I don't know where the information came from, but you need to go back to the source and do more investigating. How do you know the ancestors that's here for you or not? You need an ancestral life path reading. Go to voodooinstitute.com and go and use the code Black Don't Crack and get $20 off of Ancestral Life Path reading. You will know what ancestors are here for you, which ones are not, what they want to do for you, what's your destiny. Are you called to initiation? You will also receive prayers, a prayer and meditation regimen specifically designed for you, a spiritual bath that your ancestors designed for you, and specific instructions on how to construct your ancestral altar, along with direct, specific messages about the food offerings and the way that you need to construct your altar, all through the Ancestral Life Path reading. We will tell you which ancestors to work with and which ones are not. How can I honor the ancestors if I'm an over-the-road truck driver? You want to get a travel altar. You can create a travel altar from a shoebox, from a to-go plate. I will be teaching a travel altar class within the next 2 months. Make sure that you go to www.blackspectrumnetwork.com to learn more about that class. Do you do private readings? Absolutely. I do private readings. My readings start at $150 for 30 minutes. For my fortune teller reading, the Voodoo Life Path reading starts at $200, and the Ancestral Life Path reading at $175. Can you go back to mentorship if you dropped out for personal reasons? Absolutely. You can definitely come back into mentorship. Just click the link and just click the mentorship link. There's instructions on how to return to mentorship if you've been removed. Y'all, the Ancestral Life Path reading was amazing. I cried, and after I set my altar, I've been so happy and peaceful. My household feeling this love. Yes, voodooinstitute.com, blackspectrumnetwork.com, and book a private Ancestral Life Path reading. You can only get, Danielle Rebels, also on the website, it says you're a European Ancestral Life Path reading. We'll talk about that in a second. Okay. My grandparents were into hoodoo, but my mother thought it was sinful. Can someone be brought back in those circumstances? I don't know what that question means. Are you trying to resurrect them? Are you trying to re-educate them? Are you trying to work with them? Which one? I don't know if I missed it, but you was talking about how to get mixed culture ancestors to work together, or do you just pick who you identify with? You can do either or, but I will have a class later on how to work with mixed culture ancestors. Mixed religion ancestors, mixed race ancestors. Have we already addressed those that continue to be upset but willing to choose to stay yet? I'm salty. I didn't get everything with mine. Who was your Ancestral Life Path reading with There's no way that you couldn't have gotten everything. What do you mean you didn't get everything? I can't see who that person is. Yeah, I was wondering that too, because I took a DNA test and they tried to say I was white. I rebuked that, but I'm like, maybe I need to do that reading too. Trust your DNA test. Trust your DNA test. I love your respect your vision and community resource. I was all over the place with my spirituality until I was guided to the BSN community and the mentorship program. I love it here, and I'm bringing in as many people as possible who also see the benefit of the program as well. Well, thank you. Okay, y'all don't have any other questions? Okay, so the European Ancestral Life Path reading is for those of you all who are ready for number 4. I wish I could sing. Number 4. The fourth reason that your ancestors are problematic, they're white. They're white. That's the reason. That's the fourth reason that your ancestors are problematic. They're white. Your white ancestors hate ancestral veneration. It sends a stench up their fucking nostrils. They hate that shit. Your white, if y'all got one slave owning white ancestor, baby, that motherfucker mad right now. So you need a European Ancestral Life Path reading. If you are someone that you feel like your ancestors don't act right because they white, you need a European Ancestral Life Path reading. If you are a white person who's trying to learn how to work with your ancestors, you need a European Ancestral Life Path reading. Because your white ancestors are not as familiar with African spiritual practices as they would like to be. Now, they shut the shit down back then, but they definitely don't know nothing about it right now. And you need me to help you. So if I got white people out here, please book a European Ancestral Life Path reading and fix your life and fix your sins. And this is for y'all mixed race Africans too. Or if you're a mixed race European, the European Ancestral Life Path reading is for you. You need it. Because when you have white ancestors, you got to do shadow work on your ancestors. Because you know what they've done. Why are white people in Australia? Why am I, as a person of African descent, in the United States? Why are there white people in Australia? They have shadow work to do. Now, you may not, let's say it's Joe Biden, right? Joe Biden's ancestors didn't own slaves. If you don't know why Joe Biden's ancestors didn't own slaves, I can't help you. You bitch, I can't help you. If you think Joe Biden's ancestors owned slaves, anyway. All right. But President Joe Biden's ancestors ain't got to do shadow work over them for slaves, but he got to do some type of shadow work. You have to do shadow work with your white ancestors to elevate them and to venerate them, whether you like it or not, because your white ancestors have just as much dominion over your life as your black ones. Your daddy got just as much dominion over your life as your mama. I know you don't like that, but there are other things that you should not like too. Like being on food stamps for 8 years. Some of the ways that you can, get your white ancestors in line that I'll give to you are asking stronger authority figures in the spiritual realm to assist and put them in check. You may have to get a loa to tap your pawpaw ass. If Colonel George Washington Cleaver Jr. Abraham Lincoln Tavius is acting a motherfucking plum pale flamingo fool, then you might have to get you might have to get God. You have to get God. Or Cleopatra, Nefertiti, to come in and assist and put them in check. In Haitian voodoo, we have what's called Shampoo Magic, which is a very advanced form of magic. Requires multiple people to do it. Very long process, very expensive. You can do Shampoo Magic. We do Shampoo Magic when people have ancestors that are unhealed, ancestors that are trapped in the spiritual realm, ancestors that are working against them. And sometimes those ancestors are white. And they need a fix and they need a root. So you do the Shampoo Magic because it's a form of ancestral healing. You can do ancestral healing rituals by just, we talk about, go to AfricanMagicSchool.com. We have ancestral healing rituals. Another thing that you all need to do if you have problematic white ancestors, read a book to them. But not just any book. You have to read books about anti-racism, being an ally, being an active bystander, defunding white supremacy, divesting it from slavery, anything that's gonna re-educate them. You have to re-educate your white ancestors. You literally are gonna have to read to them. There's gonna be you have a reading regimen where I'm like, you gotta read this book to your ancestors. You gotta read this chapter of this book, at least 3 times a week and get them on point and make sure that they understand. You might even have to give your ancestors quizzes. Just to make sure they get it. Do your ancestors understand the assignment? Do they? That's what you really got to ask yourself. Another really good book that you need to read to your white ancestors is Tapping the Power Within and get them to understand, look, I can be Christian and I can practice African spirituality too. I can be a druid, moon, god, guru, pagan, witch, and still be practicing my African spirituality too. You can do both. African spirituality fits neatly into other spiritual systems. It doesn't interrupt it, doesn't disrupt it, doesn't have any. You can do ancestor veneration and be a pagan witch. With your white ancestors, make sure you let them know that you're going to be getting them reparations, that they need to assist you with getting reparations, that they owe you some reparations. It's going to piss them off. But guess what? You're going to read to them. You're going to read them some Michelle Alexander, the new Jim Crow. And ask them for spells. Your white ancestors have a lot of spell work that they can give to you. Haitian voodoo is influenced by a lot of European magic. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of European magic that's influencing Haitian voodoo. We use astrology in Haitian voodoo. Astrology matters. So I think that you all should ask those European ancestors for spells. But if you don't know how to work with your white ancestors, you need to get a European ancestral life path reading. I'm the only person that offers it at Black Spectrum Network. I'm the only person that can do it at Black Spectrum Network, the European ancestral life path reading. Ask about reparations. Ask for spells. You also need to, for those of you all that are like, I don't want to work with my white ancestors because they raped my whoever, or they may not have raped, it may have been my great granddaddy went and fucked the slave owner's wife and whatever. However you descend, cool. But your European ancestors they're always trying to do a few things. They're trying to get you to be more flexible in your magical practice. They're trying to get you to become more powerful in your spiritual walk. Because if you have their assistance, if you have them on your side and they are strong, your European ancestors are very strong and they're very useful. They are literally trying to introduce you into other realms of magic, ceremony, religion, and venerate and worship. Like they really want to teach you spells. They want to assist you too, right? So if you have problematic ancestors, you may have that one. If you have one white person in your family tree that sits above you, just know that one white person is connected to millions of other white people that have dominion over your life too. Okay? So I'm going to maybe answer 1 or 2 more questions and then heading up off of here. Would you still suggest a European reading if your ancestors are Irish and Haitian? Or would you suggest an African reading too? My mother and her family are from Ireland, and my father and all his family came to Haiti in 79. Okay, so let me put on look, this is when I'd be like, I can't meet y'all halfway because this is so fucked up. This is so ahistorical. I gotta put on my goddamn thinking cap. Y'all, let me put on my thinking cap. put on my thinking cap. All right, so I have on my thinking cap. I'm do it like this. So I have on my thinking cap. If your ancestors are Irish and Haitian, okay? Your mother and their family came from Ireland, so they're Irish. Your father and your family all came from Haiti and 79. They may have Irish ancestry. There are some Haitian people that do have a little bit of European ancestry in them. And because you have a mom that's from Ireland, absolutely. You need that European ancestral life path reading. You do. You do. Now, I don't know if you're saying that your father came, you know, he was born in Haiti. I don't know if you're saying that, like, I don't know what came from Haiti really means, to be honest with you. But I could, hold on, y'all. Anyway, as I was saying, I don't know what came from Haiti really means or whatever, but I tried to answer that. I have 13% Euro in me per my DNA results. Should I do both readings? You did not listen to a motherfucking thing that I just said. I said if you have white ancestors that are problematic, if you have white ancestors that you're trying to get in contact with, you need to do it. So now I'm going to ask you with your 13% of DNA, are your white ancestors problematic? If so, come see me. Do you want to connect with your white ancestors? If so, come see me. But a lot of Haitians have European and French in them. So even a lot of Haitians have European in them. I said just a few, but I'm not going to say a lot. Woo, these Facebook questions, y'all. Lord have mercy. Woo! The do-rag of salvation. It is, hey, the do-rag of salvation. Hey, I'll go with that. Do-rag of salvation. All right, do-rag of salvation. My white ancestors be coming to me in dreams, showing me crazy-ish. I know they don't like my ass. Hey, I ain't got no comment on that. Look, this shit. If you got European ancestors, come and see me. My father is white, European. The ancestors on the white side of my family were not slave owners. I have separate altars for my black and white ancestors. Is that okay, or should I mix them? You need to do a divination and ask them. Oh yeah, we remove people from the mentorship all the time. We always kicking people out. If you don't perform, we kick you out. So if the European ancestors don't seem to be problematic, do I have to work with them? No, but it would be beneficial for you to work with them. They got a lot that they can teach you and expose you to. God damn it, HOUNGAN, I'm like 40% European. My godmother did my African ancestor. Well, time for the European one. I mean, why not? Why not? Why not get to know the European ancestors? What the fuck is wrong with that shit? They're a part of you. You got it coded in your DNA. Shit, it's already inside you. Hell, you passing it on to your kids if you have them. What is some evidence that your ancestors are problematic? I went through that already. Make sure that y'all book an ancestral life path reading at blackspectrumnetwork.com and voodooinstitute.com. If you go to voodooinstitute.com, VOODOO, institute.com, you can get the ancestral life path reading for $20 off. So you can get the ancestral life path reading for like $70. I choose to ignore my white ancestors, and they choose to ignore you too. And guess what? There's a bunch of blessings and information that you're not receiving from them. There's a shit ton of ashe that you cannot tap into because you won't work with them. That's what I asked. How can you tell if they are pushing away what isn't good for you versus being problematic? Oh, okay. Do a divination. And I mean, that's like asking how can you tell if your parents are pushing something away that isn't good for you versus being problematic. You got to do some self-reflection and know that for yourself. And if you don't know that for yourself, you need to be like Janae and go to see your godparent and have them do a divination for you. You know what I mean? My thinking cap is hot. But yeah, you go to your ancestors and get them to do a divination. This is a mirror, okay? So I'm gonna just try to look, and I'm gonna try to look at Facebook user. Let me see. Are your ancestors pushing away anything that's problematic for you? No, but the only message that I do have for you, the only message that I do have for you is work with your maternal bloodline. There's a matriarch, maybe a grandmother. You don't hear a lot of spiritualists say disciples, grandmother. No, this is not your mother, but it's like a grandmother or great grandmother. They showed me a woman inside of a field of a wheat. You're supposed to be doing some type of work with agriculture, food, sustainability. It's going to be a humanitarian based program. You may not create it. You may just work in an organization. You may just be the front bitches, the office that works at, whatever charity place. But your ancestors are not trying to push you away. They don't have a problem with you. You mainly have just one ancestor that operates literally like as a patron spirit. Like she's like a deity. She protects your energy. She won't let me see anything. She won't let me see what's going on with you. She's just staring at me. That's about it. But yeah, thinking cap, do-rag of salvation, whatever. All right. That ends this class. I want to thank you all for tuning in. I want to thank Janae for interviewing me. Hope you all learned something about why your ancestors may be problematic. And yeah. So with that being said, I leave you all with these words of wisdom from the rapper Dreezy. Gave mercy to these hoes. What would Jesus do? I've been your reader for today / entertainment because, people fucking interview me or whatever. Somebody said, no, that was 20 minutes already. Yeah, well, really it was 37. Like it was 37 minutes. I went for 37 minutes. But yeah, I'll upload this to AfricanMagicSchool.com. I'll keep it up on BlackSpectrumNetwork.com so you all can watch it. But yeah, in the words of the rapper Dreezy, gave mercy to these hoes. What would Jesus do? I've been your entertainment or your reader, professor, crisis manager for today, Dr. Quintari Shakir. And remember, the truth is always collaborative. Bye.